Martell Holt stepped out of his car. The flash of cameras turned the quiet street into chaos. His face carried the same confident smile that once charmed television audiences. But if you looked closer, you could see the tiredness in his eyes. The sparkle of fame was gone, replaced with the shadow of sleepless nights and regret. Across the street, Melody Shari arrived in a black coat, her face calm but her eyes holding a deep sadness. She didn't pose, didn't wave, didn't smile. When a reporter asked softly, "Melody, are you hopeful today?" she simply replied, "I just want justice." Her words were short, but they carried years of pain. Inside the courthouse, the atmosphere was thick with anticipation. Judge Harper, who had been handling this emotional case for months, opened the file and spoke firmly. "Mr. Holt, at the last hearing, you were ordered to complete counseling and avoid physical punishment of your children. Have you followed those orders?" Martell hesitated. His lawyer tried to step in, saying the sessions had been delayed, but the judge interrupted sharply. "Effort isn't enough when it comes to a child's safety. The court asked for action, not excuses." Those words echoed in the courtroom like thunder. Melody looked down, but not out of defeat. She knew this was more than a custody battle. This was the price of years of endurance. One by one, reports from the children's school and psychological counselors were presented. Each page told the same painful truth. The kids were living in fear, trapped between two worlds, wanting peace but getting conflict. One expert's words hit the hardest. These children love both their parents, but they are scared of anger. They crave peace, not power struggles. Melody's lawyer pleaded with the court. "My client isn't asking for revenge. She's asking for safety. A calm, happy environment for her kids." Martell's attorney, however, argued that the media had destroyed his client's image and that he shouldn't be punished for public perception. But when the judge read the children's own statements, everything changed. The eldest child, only 11, said softly, "I'm not angry with my dad, but when he gets angry, we all hide." The courtroom fell silent. For the first time, Martell lowered his head. His eyes reflected guilt, something real, something human. Melody didn't smile. This wasn't victory. It was heartbreak in disguise. The judge's voice broke the silence. "In the best interest of the children, Mr. Holt will attend weekly counseling for 3 months. Until progress is shown, his visits will remain supervised. And corporal punishment is strictly prohibited." The gavel struck. Martell's shoulders dropped, and Melody took a slow breath. She had not won against a man. She had won for her children. When she stepped outside, reporters surrounded her again. "Melody, do you consider this your victory?" She looked at them and said quietly, "This isn't my victory. This is for my children. Their safety is all that matters." Within hours, social media exploded. Twitter, YouTube, blogs, everyone was talking about it. Some called Melody a hero. Others accused the media of crucifying Martell. The hashtag #JusticeForTheKids trended nationwide. One user wrote, "Sometimes power doesn't lie in fame, it lies in protecting innocence." The next day, Martell broke his silence. On Instagram, he posted a long message. "I'm not perfect. I've made mistakes, but I'm learning. I just want to be a better father." His words seemed genuine, but the internet is cruel. Sponsors pulled out. Business deals vanished. The same fame that once made him powerful now isolated him completely. Melody, meanwhile, stayed quiet. No interviews, no posts. She simply picked her kids up from school that evening, hugged them tightly, and whispered, "It's all going to be okay." Deep inside, though, she knew the story wasn't over. It had only entered a new chapter. While Huntsville remained physically calm, the digital world roared with noise. Everyone had an opinion. Everyone became a legal expert overnight. Some said Melody manipulated the system. Others said Martell got what he deserved. But amid all the noise, one truth remained. The children's voices. Their words had changed everything. The story grew beyond Alabama. Media outlets from Atlanta to New York reported it. Reality star Martell Holt reprimanded in court. Child safety takes priority. Melody tried to focus on rebuilding a peaceful life. But she was aware that every photo, every post, every public step could be twisted into a headline. One evening, while helping her son with homework, there was a knock on the door. A reporter stood there asking, "Melody, would you like to make a statement about your next move?" She closed the door gently and said, "My only move is to protect my children. Everything else is noise." Meanwhile, Martell's world was collapsing. His show appearances were canceled, investors disappeared, and old friends stopped calling. Late one night, sitting alone in his empty office, he stared at framed photos on the wall. awards, memories, magazine covers, and whispered, "Was I ever a husband, a father, or just a brand?" He remembered Melody's old words, "Power isn't everything. Peace is." And for the first time, he truly understood what she meant. Months passed, and a new court hearing was scheduled. Martell presented his counseling report. It showed progress, but also signs that more anger management was needed. Melody's lawyer requested that a monitoring officer be present during the children's visits. Martell protested, "Am I a criminal? Why do I need supervision to see my own kids?" The judge's answer was simple but heavy. "This is not punishment. It's protection. Until trust is restored, precautions must stay." Outside, cameras flashed again and debates reignited. But this time, something shifted. People started realizing this wasn't just a fight between a man and a woman. It was a reflection of how fame, pride, and emotion can destroy families. Melody said in a later interview, "I'm not against men. I'm against abuse. Change doesn't come with words. It comes with actions." Her calm tone and strength touched millions. Comments poured in. "She's not just surviving, she's leading." One night, Melody received a text from Martell. "I had counseling with the kids today. They asked me, 'Dad, will you be angry again?' I said no. Maybe that was the first time I really changed." Melody looked at the message for a long time, then replied simply, "I pray you're right." But peace didn't last long. A YouTuber claimed Martell had violated court orders. The video went viral, gaining millions of views. Martell went live the next day defending himself. "I've done nothing wrong. People love drama more than truth." Melody, meanwhile, received threats online. Still, she told her team, "Silence can be strength. Let the noise fade." Weeks later, both were called to a joint family therapy session. It was the first time they sat together without lawyers or cameras. The therapist said, "You both say you love your kids, but love means peace. The war must end." Melody spoke softly. "I gave up my dreams for my children's safety." Martell nodded slowly. "I never gave up my ego. Maybe that's why I lost everything." The room fell silent, but this silence felt different. It wasn't defeat. It was healing. Finally, the day of the final verdict arrived. Reporters crowded outside the courthouse. Inside, Melody wore white, a symbol of peace. Martell wore black, a picture of quiet regret. Judge Harper read the ruling. Primary custody will remain with the mother. The father will have supervised visits, and both parents will attend 1 year of family counseling. This is not punishment. It is correction. Melody's eyes filled with tears. Martell didn't look up. The gavel fell, marking the end of a painful chapter. Outside, instead of anger, there was empathy. People online weren't fighting this time. They were reflecting. One comment went viral. "You can't co-parent from chaos. You can only co-parent from peace." Melody added that quote to her Instagram bio, and it spread everywhere. Days later, her children laughed and played freely again. "Mama," her daughter asked, "we're not mad at Papa anymore, right?" Melody smiled. "No, honey. We're just grateful." Across town, Martell attended a supervised meeting. His son, Tank, ran up and asked, "Dad, you're not angry anymore, are you?" Martell knelt down, eyes soft, and said, "No. Now I only love you." Months passed, and Melody's story became a movement. Her organization, Mothers for Peace, grew nationwide. CNN even produced a documentary titled "Broken Home, Brave Hearts," sharing Melody's journey and those of other women. One viewer wrote, "Melody taught me that brokenness can be the start of healing." 2 years later, at an awards event, Melody and Martell found themselves seated at the same table. She smiled faintly and said, "Life has changed so much." Martell nodded. "Yes, maybe now I've finally become the father my children deserve." Melody replied, "We may never be the same again, but we can always be better." That night, Melody wrote her final words on her blog, "I am Melody, a mother, a woman, a survivor. Time doesn't heal wounds. Truth does. If you're going through your own storm, remember, you are not alone. Speak your truth. When you break the silence, the world changes." When Melody's documentary, Rising Through Fire, was released, it broke records. It wasn't just her story. It was a story of forgiveness, faith, and inner strength. In one of the most powerful scenes, Melody said, "Sometimes God breaks you to rebuild you stronger. And when you stop chasing revenge, you start finding purpose." The line went viral. Across social media, women and men alike shared clips with the hashtag #DomkaRiseAgain. Martell watched the documentary in silence. He didn't feel attacked or shamed. Instead, he felt proud. Proud that the woman